Hi everyone, I hope you are doing great. In today's lesson, you are going to learn how to talk about past events with was and were. You're also going to learn how to use prepositions in, on, and at when talking about places where you were in the past. Alright, let's get started.
A1, Unit 10, Lesson 1. Talking about past events with was and were. We can use was and were when talking about past events. Let's see how they're used in the following conversations. Conversation 1.
Hi, Anna.
Hey!
I was in your house last night, but you weren't there. Where were you?
Sorry, I was at the gym at 7 p.m. Conversation 2.
Look, this is my dad when he was 23.
Wow, he was a very good-looking guy. Was he a Marine?
No, he wasn't. He was a pilot.
As we could see in the previous conversations, was and were are the two forms that represent the past of be. Was is a past of is and am. For instance, present, past. I'm at the gym.
I was at the gym last night.
He is a very good-looking guy.
He was a very good-looking guy.
Where is the past of are? Present, past. They are at the movies.
They were at the movies yesterday.
We use was or were plus not to make negative statements. For example,
I was not at the gym last night.
they were not at the movies yesterday. The contracted form of was not is wasn't. The contracted form of were not is weren't. We use wasn't and weren't in speaking and informal writing. When talking in past, we often use past time expressions such as
Yesterday.
yesterday afternoon,
This morning.
last night,
2 days ago.
last Sunday,
Last week.
last month,
Last year.
For example,
I was in Taiwan last month.
Carlos and his wife were in the park this morning. Now, let's see what we mentioned before in the following chart. Don't forget to listen and repeat. Affirmative, negative, singular.
I was a doctor.
I wasn't a doctor.
You were happy.
You weren't happy.
He was at church.
He wasn't at church.
She was in a meeting last week.
She wasn't in a meeting last week.
It was hot yesterday.
It wasn't hot yesterday. Plural.
We were good students last year.
We weren't good students last year.
You were famous in China.
You weren't famous in China.
They were in Japan last month.
They weren't in Japan last month. Interrogative form. Question word. Was, where. Subject. Complement. Answers. Singular.
Were you a doctor?
Yes, I was. No, I wasn't.
Was she at the supermarket yesterday?
Yes, she was. No, she wasn't.
Was it cold last night?
Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. Plural.
When were you here?
We were here at about 9 in the morning.
Where were they yesterday?
They were at the bank. In this lesson, we're also going to explain how to use the prepositions of place, in, on, and at. First, let's take a look at the following sentences and try to guess the correct preposition.
In, on, or at. 1. She was the supermarket. 2. They were the park. 3. I was the bus. She was at the supermarket. They were in the park. I was on the bus. Let's see some other examples of the use of the prepositions at, in, and on to refer to places. I was at work. You were at home. He was at school. She was at the bank. It was at the gym. We were at the beach. They were at a restaurant. I was in bed. You were in the living room. He was in Somoto. She was in a car. It was in Honduras. We were in a meeting. They were in the park. I was on a bus. You were on a plane. He was on a boat. She was on a train. It was on the street. We were on the sidewalk. They work on the grass.
Now, it's time to practice.